Are you living in Texas and you're thinking about moving to Northeast Tennessee? Or perhaps you live in another state and you're trying to decide between Texas and Northeast Tennessee. Well, this video is for you because today I'm going to go over 8 reasons people are leaving Texas and moving to Northeast Tennessee. Stacker compiled a list of the states that are most often sending people to Tennessee based on the 2022 Census Bureau information. Here's how the states ranked. Number 1 was Florida, number 2 was California, number 3 was Georgia, and number 4 was Texas. 6% of the people that moved to Tennessee moved from Texas. So why are people leaving the state of Texas and moving to Northeast Tennessee? Well, here's the number 1 reason: state income tax. I know what you're saying. Both states have no state income tax. But if you're living in Texas and you're moving out of Texas for other reasons, you may look at Tennessee because it also has no state income tax. You know, you want to keep a little more money in your pocketbook. Number 2, property taxes. Property taxes are rising all across the country, but especially in Texas, and it's one of the main reasons people are moving from Texas to areas like Northeast Tennessee. Rocket Mortgage reported in 2023 that Texas homeowners were paying some of the highest property taxes in the country. Texas ranked 7th in the country and Tennessee ranked 45th. Number 3, population and overcrowding. Yes, both Texas and Tennessee have seen an influx of out-of-state buyers and people moving to the state. Texas has a population of 30 million, where Tennessee has a population of 7 million. Now, to be fair, Texas is a really big state, and it's 535% larger than Tennessee. But here's where the overcrowding comes in Texas. A lot of the cities that are already crowded and overpopulated, those are the areas that continue to grow. Cities like Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, Fort Worth, and Austin. Based on analytics, demographers are predicting that Dallas-Fort Worth will eclipse New York as the biggest metro area by the year 2100. Also, Dallas-Fort Worth will surpass Chicago's population by 2030, making it the 3rd largest metro area in the country. With enormous population growth in concentrated parts of Texas, residents are certainly feeling the crunch: traffic congestion, urban sprawl, overcrowded businesses, and restaurants. On the other hand, areas like Northeast Tennessee has seen growth rates of around 1% to 2% in some of its cities. Now let's take a look at the 3 largest cities in the Tri-Cities. Johnson City with a population of 72,000, Kingsport with a population of 55,000, and Bristol with a population of 28,000. The next 2 largest cities are Greenville and Elizabethton with populations of 16,000. So the residents of Northeast Tennessee have some elbow room and peace and quiet. Number 4, weather. Tennessee has varying elevation changes throughout the state, so this is why you see different types of temperatures. For instance, Northeast Tennessee enjoys 4 moderate seasons. Texas has varying terrain too, and it's a huge state. But many people say that the summers are just too hot and too long. The average temperature in Texas in July is 95 degrees and quite often reaches over 100 degrees. Summer in Northeast Tennessee is approximately 4 months long, and it starts in May and ends in September. The daily highs average 76 degrees and the hottest month in July with highs in the mid-80s. Sure, Northeast Tennessee may have days that hit 90 degrees, but not that often. Also, Tornado Alley falls on the northern section of Texas. Most of the U.S. tornadoes happen in Texas, about 139 per year. Now let's take a look at the tornado map for Tennessee from 1950 on. When you look at the western part of the state, sure, there are a lot more tornadoes than the northeast portion of Tennessee. You'll see very few. Hurricanes also impact Texas. Some of the most destructive, deadly hurricanes have hit Texas. Where Tennessee and Northeast Tennessee is surrounded by other states, it's inland, We just have the residuals of hurricanes, maybe some winds, some rains for several days, but that's about it. Number 5, the beauty. Texas and Tennessee are both beautiful states, but as they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so it just depends on what you prefer. Texas offers vast landscapes, arid deserts, rolling hills, and the coastline along the Gulf of Mexico. Tennessee is a smaller state loaded with natural beauty. Northeast Tennessee is along the Appalachian Mountains with lush forest, an abundance of wildlife, lakes, rivers, rolling hills, and breathtaking mountain views. I can't tell you how many times we've gone on a Sunday drive and I say, wow, look at those views. They never get old, and I've lived here for almost 20 years now. Number 6, the conservative political atmosphere. Now, I'm not going to share my political beliefs. I'm going to share some voting records. Looking at Texas and Tennessee, the presidential election in 2016 and 2020. Texas voted 50% or more Republican. Tennessee voted 60% or more Republican. So both are very conservative states. 3 towns in Northeast Tennessee are listed as the most conservative towns in Tennessee as reported by Saturday Night Science and Home Snacks in 2023 and 2024. And by the way, if you're wondering, Wyoming has the most conservative voting record in the country. Number 7, location. Tennessee is in a very central location. It's in the southeastern portion of the United States. And as they say, location, location, location. It's surrounded by 8 other states. This means you are within a day's drive to several major cities like Atlanta, St. Louis, Chicago, and even Orlando. If you want to hit the beach from Northeast Tennessee, you could drive over to Hilton Head or Myrtle Beach in just under 6 hours. You could also drive to Chicago or New York in about 9 hours. And if you've ever made the drive across Texas, you know it just goes on and on. The reason I'm mentioning all these driving times, so many of you drive to visit us here in Northeast Tennessee. And I've gone back and forth about mentioning this point regarding location. Tennessee, Northeast Tennessee, it's surrounded by 8 other states, where Texas' southern border is along Mexico. So we're not dealing with the immigration issues day to day that Texas is dealing with. And number 8, the similarities between Texas and Tennessee. Texas and Tennessee both have a deep respect for their history and their culture and traditions. I mean, after all, we both love cowboys, barbecue, and country music. And this area is the home of country music. So it only makes sense. If someone's living in Texas and they're leaving because of overcrowding or high property taxes, they would probably look at places like Northeast Tennessee and feel right at home. So there you have it, 8 reasons people are leaving Texas and moving to Northeast Tennessee. I'm Stephanie with the Freck Group at Greater Impact Realty. We specialize in helping people that are moving to Northeast Tennessee. So if you have questions about the area, give us a call, text, or email. You'll find our contact information below. And remember, it is never too soon to start planning your move. I hope to see you here real soon in Tennessee.